And one of the newest additions to this trip is flying high. It's the Linq Highroller. It's called the world's largest observation wheel and is well worth your time to take a whirl above Las Vegas.
Yeah, and there are 28 pods. It takes about 30 minutes for one trip around. We did it, and it was a blast. You can see the entire Las Vegas Valley. You understand how Las Vegas is actually in a bowl surrounded by mountains on all sides.
Yeah, and it easily fits about 10 people, but if you have less, you'll just meet other folks on the trip, and the atmosphere is super fun and friendly. What is also cool about the Highroller is the in-cabin accommodations. In many of them, you have your own bartender who serves some creative high-end drinks. Every 5 cabins of the 28 cabins has a bar, and you can carry your drink with you when you get off.
Now, we went during the day. This is the best time to bring kids. It's also cheaper. Prices go up after 6 p.m. Happy hour is late afternoon and early evening. It's usually more crowded and better suited for adults. Either way, enjoy the ride.
And speaking of getting around Vegas is easy. Uber and Lyft are there, but they have also made the cab services there even better. So don't be afraid to forego the rental car if you stay on the Strip.
And no matter if you're in a cab, a Lyft, or an Uber, always ask your local drivers to share their favorite ideas on restaurants and local places. You may get some great tips that you might not otherwise be aware of.
And of course you can walk too. There are so many places to stay on the Strip, too many for us to chronicle here. You can almost always find a room here, and of course places to gamble in whatever area tickles your fancy. Jetsetter deals will have them all for you.
But we also want to talk about dining on the Strip. It has become one of the world's great culinary towns.
That is so true, and the reason why is simple. All the great chefs are here. We are eating now at Giada's. This is at the Cromwell.
Now, if you haven't been to Vegas in a few years, this is where the old Barbary Coast used to be, at the corner of the Strip and Flamingo.
Just sitting at the bar was a delight. Her staff goes out of their way to make sure your experience is phenomenal. We had a couple of bartenders who were super excited about creating new and interesting drinks right on the spot for us.
Yeah, they were. In fact, we gave them our favorite ingredients, and they came up with 2 delicious cocktails for us. They nailed our flavor profiles with the ingredients we gave them. Now, needless to say, there's also a great wine list here, too.
And Giada uses her Italian touch to give you some new twists. Even the appetizers were creative. This was a delightful focaccia souffle with olive oil and some amazingly creative toppings to create a fun mix and match experience for you. Fried crispy capers, lemon-infused mascarpone, and basil pesto were among our favorites.
Yeah, and of course, we had a burrata cheese, a staple of your diet, with Cabernet salt, caper pesto, and lemon zest.
Well, of course it is. If we see burrata, we have to have it. And how about the chicken masala meatballs with roasted wild mushrooms? Wow.
We also had the tasting menu there that comes with a beautiful gift of some of Giada's recipes. And we're going to have more details on that in future episodes.
Another great chef who parks his cuisine in Vegas is Gordon Ramsay. We hit his steakhouse in the Paris, just a few resorts down.
And like Giada, he has a creative staff that is there to come up with something unique to make your experience memorable.
For instance, these drinks are the concoctions of their bartenders who work right there. This one is called Farm to Shaker, and it used house rosemary infused Bombay gin and a house grapefruit bitters topped with champagne. They all have fresh spices, herbs, and fruit-infused liquors that are all made right in-house. This one combines whiskey and wine. Talk about thinking out of the box.
And then to the food. This French onion soup was one of the best I think we've ever had. I would get this again and again. And of course, you have to make sure a Brit knows how to make the always difficult beef Wellington.
Well, and this was, of course, it's Gordon Ramsay, perfectly done. The beef was medium rare, while the pastry was flaky and delicious.
Well, next, we stayed at the Paris to enjoy another one of our favorites, Mon Ami Gabi.
You can sit inside and feel like you are in a bistro in Paris. It really has that ambiance.
Or you can sit outside on the Champs de Strip, as we like to call it, a wonderfully pleasant way to spend the afternoon.
That's correct. And they have their own wines produced and labeled for them by well-known winemakers. All were very good. We were enamored, though, with this Pinot Noir.
And the staff there is also very knowledgeable on pairing the wines.
The warm goat cheese with fresh tomato sauce was divine. With the garlicky basil toasted baguette you can see here, and the cheese in the bread, sacre bleu.
Now, when in Paris, you do as the Parisians do. We took the traditional way. We had this escargot. As I would say, it was escargot.
It was buttery and perfectly spiced. You died and went to French heaven, that is for sure. The food there is luxe and luscious.
But wherever your destination on the Strip takes you, one thing is for sure, you can't go hungry in Las Vegas.